Your Datadog invoice arrives and someone in finance opens a spreadsheet. That's usually the moment teams start Googling. Today, 5 open source projects, from zero config metrics agents to full observability stacks, and the honest reckoning of what you actually give up when you make the switch.
Here's the framing that changes everything. Datadog isn't a single tool, it's a platform. Infrastructure metrics, APM traces, log management, synthetic monitoring, one product, one login, one bill. When you move to open source, you're not swapping one app for another. You're assembling a stack, and that stack needs an owner.
Here's the field. 5 projects sorted by GitHub stars. Netdata at 78,900, Grafana just under 74,000, SigNoz at 27,000, OpenObserve at 18,900, and HyperDX at 9,500. The license column has real variety here: GPL, AGPL, MIT, and 2 marked non-standard that you'll need to check before any commercial deployment.
Start with Netdata, because it has the shortest time to value on this list. One install command and it auto-discovers your hosts, containers, and services, 800 plus pre-built metrics and alerts, a working dashboard, before you've touched a single config file. That's a legitimately different experience from standing up Prometheus from scratch.
GPL3 is clean for self-hosting. The copyleft only becomes a question if you're building a commercial SaaS product on top of Netdata and selling it. For running it internally, you're fine. The scope limit to understand Netdata is metrics and alerting. If distributed traces or centralized log search are the Datadog features you actually depend on, Netdata alone won't close the gap.
Grafana is the one most engineers already recognize, and it surprises people that Grafana itself is only the visualization and dashboarding layer. It doesn't store anything. You need a backend. For metrics, that's Prometheus. For logs, Loki. For traces, Tempo. Together, those form what teams call the Grafana OSS stack.
Once you have that mental model, the stack is genuinely powerful. Prometheus covers metrics, the industry standard. Loki does for logs what Prometheus did for metrics. Tempo handles distributed traces. Grafana at nearly 74,000 stars ties them together into dashboards and unified alerting. Every piece here is actively maintained and pushed within the past week.
SigNoz is the project that tries hardest to be Datadog in a box. Metrics, logs, and traces in a single product, one Docker Compose, one UI. If you showed the SigNoz APM view to someone who uses Datadog daily, they'd recognize the shape, correlated traces, flame graphs, slow query breakdown side by side.
27,000 stars, pushed within the past 2 days. The flag to know: the data shows no assertion for the license, meaning it's not a standard SPDX identifier. Read the actual license file in the repo before any commercial deployment. For running this on your own infrastructure as an internal observability backend, that's likely fine, but verify before you build a product around it.
OpenObserve leads with one specific claim: up to 140 times lower storage cost than Elasticsearch for the same log volume. It's written in Rust for performance. If log storage is specifically the line on your Datadog bill that's driving this conversation, this is worth benchmarking before you default to Loki.
18,900 stars, AGPL3, pushed within the past 2 days. The community is smaller than Grafana's, fewer pre-built integrations and a shorter track record in large production deployments. It's moving fast, and the performance story is real. Factor in ecosystem maturity when you're deciding whether to anchor your on-call runbooks here.
Last one, HyperDX. The distinguishing fact is the license, MIT, the only pick on this list without any copyleft conditions. If you're building a product around your observability infrastructure and need clean license provenance for your legal team, MIT means no strings attached. Developer experience focus means better defaults out of the box for correlating logs and traces.
9,500 stars, MIT license, pushed this week. Still growing, fewer integrations than the Grafana ecosystem and not yet battle-tested at the scale of SigNoz or Netdata. The right call for greenfield projects where MIT license clarity is a hard requirement and your team has the bandwidth to grow with the project.
Now the part we don't skip: who should stay on Datadog? If your team runs synthetic monitoring, browser-level checks, scheduled API probes on managed infrastructure, There's no OSS equivalent at that polish level. Same for Datadog's machine learning anomaly detection and automatic alert baselines. And critically, if you don't have an engineer who owns the stack, including on a Saturday, the total cost of self-hosting goes up fast.
The migration playbook if you do move. Instrument with OpenTelemetry first. OTLP is the vendor-neutral wire format that routes to any backend on this list, so you instrument once and can switch backends later. Export your Datadog dashboards as JSON and find matching Grafana community templates for common stacks. Migrate monitors to Prometheus alerting rules or Grafana alerts. The logic translates, the syntax differs. Set up your log pipeline via Fluent, FluentBit, or Vector before disabling agents. Then run both in parallel for at least 2 sprints before cutting over on-call responsibilities.
That's the 5. The full comparison table, current stars, license verification, and self-host complexity notes stays updated as the projects change. Links in the description. If this saved you a research sprint, subscribe. One new tool every day, a deep dive like this every week.